what's up? This is JM, host of the Celebrity Grill podcast on iTunes, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Network. All barbecue and grilling, all the time.
Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Hey, good evening, and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. We originate from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening's live fire, fun, and frivolity show. If you want to jump in on the show tonight via phone calls or emails, here's how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com or on the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Everything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you get the newsletter coming up in about 12 minutes from now. Typically, in the first hour, you would find him in the second interview segment, or what we would know as 35 past the first hour. However, we've done a little jostling here with the schedule. The guest that is typically in the second interview segment has what I deemed necessary content to move him to 14 past because it allows us for a little bit longer of a chat. There's some business of barbecue to talk about. There's some new business of his barbecue world to talk about. And we'll be joined by the bristly barbecue journalist himself and author, Derrick Riches. 14 past. So if you weren't paying attention and you know Derrick comes in the fourth Tuesday and you think he's coming in 35 past, you will have missed out when you tune in 35 past. He will be 14. However, taking Derrick's normal place 35 past the first hour, somebody who is now making his perhaps third or fourth appearance on this show here in 2021 after a tremendous debut episode earlier in the year. Fast food expert reviewer Bill Oakley will be joining us. Did anybody know that Arby's released flavored vodka, potato-flavored vodka? Now I know what you might be thinking. That's redundant, potato-flavored vodka. But we're taking it a step further than just potato-flavored vodka. And I know vodka doesn't taste like anything. Blah. Bill's going to talk about it. We're going to be talking about French fries as it relates to what he says is the gold standard McDonald's, and then two new offerings from some of the other favorite fast food haunts like Wendy's and Arby's, and we have other things to talk about as well. By the way, if I might draw your attention to the YouTube chat, barbecue royalty is in. John Dawson of Patio Daddio Barbecue, and haven't seen him in a long time. And if you don't know who he is, let me see here. Do I have it? Well, I got to look for it. LM. Is it gone? No, it's right here. This guy.
Hey, this is John Dawson of Patio Daddio Barbecue in Boise, Idaho, and I've got it locked on the 50,000 gigawatt blowtorch of the internet that is Barbecue Central.
Look at this guy. Good to see you again, John. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving in your hinterlands household. Angela Iverson is also... Look at all the stars are coming out. Is everybody on vacation? What's going on? I digress. We move to the second hour because we'll be closing the first with Bill Oakley. And then, of course, the second hour, bringing you the ever-popular refiring of the Embedded Correspondents, which we will, show you a new version of the 100% Assurity Picks. That list continues to grow. We will also talk about Thanksgiving. We'll talk about prepping Thanksgiving. We'll talk about cooking Thanksgiving. We'll talk about Thanksgiving tradition. We'll talk about the things you hate the most about Thanksgiving, the things you love the most about Thanksgiving, the things you are most thankful for this Thanksgiving. It will not end, if you can believe it. So, that's what you have to look forward to this evening. Derrick Riches, Bill Oakley, first hour. The Embedded Correspondent, second hour. Don't forget you can follow me socially, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, at BBQ Central Show. Live video feeds of this show, Facebook and Twitch /BBQ Central Show. Also on YouTube /RD Rempe. And yes, we are live on Clubhouse as well, as we have been for any number of weeks. So let me tell you this. Second hour, 100% Assurity Picks. If you are in Clubhouse, I want you to raise your hand and take Assurity Picks with us. Let's do it for Thanksgiving as we lead into it. I want to see Chef Sean and Rod and Darwin. You want to do 100% Assurity Picks in the second hour? Raise your hand. And you can do it right along with us. It's fast. It's the lightning round of food these days. So there you have it. I see a bunch of people here this evening. Very happy. Very happy. Fridge Man is in. I see that. So don't forget, if you want to, raise your hand in the second hour and we'll bring you in. All right, let me also mention this. A couple weeks ago, I had Launch Boom co-founder Will Ford on. We talked all about crowdfunding, this and that. I said, you know what? We're going to put this bad boy to the test. Now, I don't have anything that I'm bringing the market to sell, but it's crowdfunding nonetheless. So I have started a GoFundMe for this sweet-ass watch. And believe it or not, I just started it the other day. And believe it or not, I have already 2 backers. So we're thanking friend of show, Stover Harger, the third. And we're thanking Hawaii's realtor to the stars and the common folk, Lance Owens, for all donating right off the bat. So we're just shy of the goal. If you're on Facebook, I can't help you with that because I don't have access to Facebook. However, I'm posting it in the YouTube chat, so click there and just make it happen. I know that total might seem a little out of whack, but there's a video describing the watch. It's not that specific. I mean, it's that watch, but it's not that watch, if you know what I mean. But it'll give you a really good description of the watch, why I want it. And, by the way, if I might say, anybody that contributes $6,000 or more at a clip immediately becomes a show sponsor next year, 2022. I'll get in touch with you on that. We'll talk about how we can game plan whatever that business is that you have going, or if you just want to promote your Facebook page or whatever the hell. 6,000 or more gets you sponsorship of the 30-second kind like that. This brought to you by cookinpellets.com. You want to go the full 12 G's, you become a full 2-minute, 30-second read sponsor next year. Can I encourage you more? Let's go. Let's crowdfund. Let's show Will Ford that this is the way to go in the future. All right, listener feedback here before we get to the first break, and then Derrick Riches, who is not in the green room, by the way, so I'm a little scared. This one from Che in Iowa. Hey, Greg, 514 Studio /Devour Iowa here. Love the show and love your guests. You always have the best guests and always entertain. Just want to address from last week's show, the McRib. I know how you feel about the onions and the pickles, and the onions are the only thing on that sandwich I get the nostalgia of. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to try again. Bad reading. You always have the best of. I know how you feel about onions, but the pickles and onions are the only good things on that sandwich. I get nostalgia of the thing for some people, but they need to stop acting like it's good food or anything close to resembling good food. It's all pork, but it's all the pork that wasn't good to use for anything else. The wife and I tried the Malcolm Reed beers, the ones with the hot sauce and the seasoning on top. We used buffalo sauce and Meat Church Holy Voodoo. Wow, amazing. Keep up the good work on the show. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving and Christmas. Regards, Che. Thank you, Che or Shay. Mike in Wisconsin. Greg, at the tail end of the Primo spot last week, did I hear a Borat reference? I have a chair or something like that. Just making sure I am hearing what I am hearing. Love the show. Regards, Mike. Mike, yes, you did. I have a chair. I have a chair. That's what you heard. I have a chair.
I have a chair. I have a chair.
Go to this. Go to this.
Oh, go do this. Go do this. King in the castle.
King in the castle. King in the castle.
King in the castle. King in the castle.
That's what you heard. You heard Borat. Good ear, Mike. Donovan in North Carolina. Greg, I'm not one to pile on someone, but how does the icon of the barbecue industry have such troubles the last number of months with his connections into the show? It's obviously not you, because none of the other guests have the same issue on the same show. Come on, Steven. Get it worked out so we don't have to guess what the conversation is going to be abruptly cut off. This past Tuesday was going so well. It's a bit frustrating. Anyway, love the show. Regards, Donovan. Donovan, I will make sure that I pass along your encouragement of his connections to get better next month. How about that? Guess what, folks? New sponsor of the show. That's right. Do Wellness and David Leans. Did you know that people who set a goal 4 to 6 weeks before the new year are between 3 to 10 times, yes, 10 times more likely to achieve it? Be honest. How long has losing a few pounds been on your to-do list? Now, you're here because you love barbecue, and I know a lot of us making a habit of getting seconds and thirds. It's all delicious, but what effect has that and an activity level or lifestyle that's not what it used to be had in the long term? Maybe you've heard of having a dad bod, and that was in, but rest assured, there's nothing sexy about wearing your gluttony everywhere you go. Not to mention, being overweight increases the risk of all of the mortality causes, including stroke, most cancers, coronary heart disease, sleep apnea, hypertension, osteoarthritis, mental illness, such as clinical depression and anxiety. Changing decades-old food habits can mean the difference between you and unknown challenges for you and your family. Luckily, thanks to my pal and new friend of the show, barbecue enthusiast and men's diet coach, David McDowell, you can eat all the barbecue you want year-round and still lose fat. With David, you've got the assistance around the clock. Just a text message, an iMessage, a WhatsApp message, or whatever you need. Even on short notice, some guys easily charge upwards of $500 a month for a canned diet plan, 1 to 2 check-ins per month. But with David, you've got a resource available effectively 24/7. For Black Friday, he's offering a year of coaching, not $500, not $400, not even $200 a month. You can finally get permanently, you can lose that unwanted fat for $2,300 for the year. Black Friday only. Interested, hit the website davidleans.com/BBQ to sign up. That's davidleans.com/BBQ to sign up. Do it now. We'll have David on the show next week. And Derrick's coming up. Stick around. Be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by the Barbecue Guru, creators of automatic pit temperature control devices, sellers of ceramic cookers with built-in power draft fans and accessories to make your barbecue and grilling life easier. Visit bbqguru.com for more information or call them at 800-288-GURU. Barbecue Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. It is the first Tuesday of the month, and that means it's time to go to the hotline as we welcome in One of the, if not the, most respected barbecue journalist in the biz. He is a Barbecue Central Show guest Hall of Famer, and I tell you that each and every month because that's really most important. You can check him out over at his website, DerrickRiches.com, and we welcome back Derrick Riches. Hey, Derrick.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
I am fine. Are you gearing up for the big holiday in a few days? Have you had your turkey in the refrigerator defrosting the proper amount of time and things like this?
No.
You really?
No.
Dare you?
How dare you?
No turkey?
I'm in the publishing world, so
Yes.
I do everything 2 months in advance. So
You were one of those people.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. So I cooked turkey in September and October.
Yep.
And so the leg of lamb is thawing nicely. So
yes,
yeah,
like a lamb. How are you going to do that? Is that going to be live fire? Are you going to roast it in the oven?
no, live fire. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put that out to the grill, get some smoke on it.
What kind of seasoning
Stuff.
you rub with that?
I like to stick to kind of a classic Greek, so some lemon zest, fresh oregano, thyme, just some other stuff, some garlic, kind of stuff it, wrap it up, tie it up real nice, and put it out on the grill to get some smoke and some fire on it.
You doing any mint jelly type shenanigans?
No, I haven't had mint jelly on lamb since my grandmother died.
All right. Not a fan, I guess. Okay.
It's just, I mean, I get it. I remember it as a child. It's there, but yeah, I haven't had mint jelly in 25, 30 years.
Not a nostalgic taste you're looking to chase down on Thursday, evidently.
No.
Understandable. So we are going to be talking what's over your right shoulder here in a moment, which is the complete guide to smoking meat, 100 recipes for barbecue and grilling. I have a nice picture that I'll be showing as well. Actually, I'll go ahead and flash it here right now. So there you go. That's going to be the cover of the book when you can actually get your hands on it. Although some lucky Centralite was lucky enough to get an advanced copy that I was happily requested to have me autograph your book to send to him, which of course I did. And
as is tradition.
It is on the way, media mail-wise, so I would assume at some point mid-December or first part of next year he will get it, and he will have had it well in advance of anybody else. But there's a couple other topics that I wanted to talk to you about that are going on in the world of live fire. They are business-related stuff. Weber announces, would you call it a spin-off of something called 1952 Ventures? Do we even care about this? And if so, why do we care about it?
I don't think we actually care a whole lot about it. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of Weber. What is Weber being held as? Weber Holdings Company or just Weber Inc. now? So this is just a way of them separating some stuff out from the main company. A subsidiary isn't obligated to report things the same way the parent company is, and they can use this as a kind of, some companies use it to kind of preserve their primary brand. So if Weber were to buy another grill company, they could keep it completely separate from their product line to keep investors from kind of going, I don't get what you're doing here, or how does this help you out? But I think really what it is, if you look at the personnel that are going over to this 1952, which is the year of Weber's founding, this is around their technology brand. These are kind of their tech people, the people that have been pushing, now that Weber's a technology company and no longer a grilling company or whatever. I think what they're really doing is they're setting the stage to do partnerships with businesses that can share into their technology. So basically connect to their app, in a way that way, as well as kind of probably acquire some intellectual property. I know that they're kind of in the process of trying to put together some app integration. So your grill comes back and says, hey, we're running low on some propane here. The app may connect you to a service that will swap out your propane tank. and you can just kind of do that seamlessly and pay an app. And yeah, I don't really.
What does that mean? Like somebody's going to magically show up and I'm going to have a new can and I'm not going to know about it and I'll be billed on a card I have on file?
More or less, yeah. I mean, there are services in some areas. I know. I mean, there's one here in Austin that will, to your door propane delivery. I don't know how widespread it is. I mean, propane's hard, I mean, it's like, I know that Traeger will have this if they don't really kind of have it. I mean, they kind of have it now, but
what does that mean? Propane is hard.
Shipping. It's hard to ship. It can't be shipped. It has to be delivered.
Right.
Wood pellets can be shipped.
All right.
Charcoal can be shipped.
Yes.
Pellets can't be shipped. And there's, laws about taking a propane tank over state boundaries or putting it in, certain types of trucks or whatever.
Who's doing that? Everybody has at least one propane tank. You take it to your Home Depot or you take it to your local propane gas filler. On Wednesdays, tomorrow, I'm taking my 20-pound bottle to whatever the hell the name of the place is right by where I work, because on Wednesdays it's 20 pounds for $9.99. You can believe it.
That's a good deal.
No shit.
That's a good deal.
Every Wednesday I'm going by to make sure everything's topped off for $9.99. It's worth it. But this seems like a lot of. I don't believe that propane is that big of a pain in the ass.
Okay, but there are people that Traeger just went into meal kits. You can have your brisket shipped to your doorstep with your herbs and your seasonings, your rubs, your whatever you're going to have with it, and side dishes.
But you're talking about the laziness of America, right? You're just talking about people being lazy. They don't want to go to Home Depot to get a new propane tank. They want Johnny's delivery service. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Gasfast.com, and they bring it to your doorstep. Maybe they'll even hook it up for an extra $5 charge.
Right. Why pay, $9.99 for a full propane tank when you can pay $49.99 to have it brought to your house and put on your patio?
With 15 pounds, not 20 pounds, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yes, we know that to be the case.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, so would you say that Weber is, since you said a lot of times people are doing this so they can keep the Weber brand, but maybe they would buy an additional line of cookers and be able to keep them separate. Would you be foretelling that Weber's on the buy of some other line, or are they looking to maybe buy more IP for things, or what?
I don't know. It was about 12, 13 years ago. They bought out Duquesne, and that just bombed. It was just like a stupid move on their part, even though they got it for pennies on the dollar because they were bankrupt. But yeah, I don't necessarily see them going after like a grill company as necessarily going for more of the intellectual property or accessory lines or things in that area. I mean, we know there's a lot of fairly successful Weber kettle accessories. Bundling those in might be an option, or they're so obsessed with technology, with just having everything run off your phone that I think it's going to be more down that line than buying something people use.
I thought that this was a perfect opportunity for them to have at least shot a flare in the air to say something along the lines of podcast. Traeger has no podcast. Weber Grills has no podcast. I can't believe that there's any number of these grill manufacturers in the live fire industry that don't have their own produced podcast. It makes perfect sense to me that perhaps this was going to be something that they would have mentioned, getting into that kind of a space, whether there's a video component or not, or you can do it 100 different ways. And also, come at me. Big checkbook in hand. Let's buy the show. Let's buy the feed. Many hundreds of thousands of dollars later, it's the Barbecue Central Show brought to you by Weber Grills. Something along these lines. Are you surprised that none of the grill manufacturers have any kind of podcast presence?
Not particularly, but it does sound like you're trying to cash in real quick.
Because they're not on the ball. Like it's not on their radar. They don't find value in it. If anybody,
Yeah,
I thought Traeger would be there because they seem to be a little bit more ahead of the curve, although we'll get to them here in a second.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily something that's kind of on the radar. The problem is that it filters down to their PR and marketing people who are 23-year-old New Yorkers who are on TikTok half the day. So, it's, they're looking for the, millions of eyes. And yeah, I don't know. I'd be kind of surprised if one of them tried to launch a podcast, but it's a possibility.
All right. Well, I'm getting off track here, Derek, because I want to get to the book, but I have to ask you about this. So we have at least 7 minutes to talk about the book before we end. I've noticed, because we talked about both these Weber Traeger going public here over the summer, and it was a race, blah blah blah. Well, at the close of business today, Derek, we have Traeger that saw a high of almost $32 a share, trading at $13.85. In fact, today is the first day that Weber finished ahead of Traeger. They sold at the close at $14.15 off a high at one point of $19.55. So maybe, $4 on Weber, and they weren't really ever catching the world on fire. But to go from 32 to sub 14, to me, seems a little troubling. Also, seems like there's millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars getting pissed away over the course of 2 or 3 months. What's going on, and is this a big deal?
Yeah, neither one of them have turned out to be all that appealing when it comes to stocks. The investors are not that interested in them. I mean, Traeger has been listed as like a buy, but nobody's buying. And it didn't help that Jeremy Andrus came out literally, I think, what was it, yesterday? And I'm not sure how this interview happened. He said that a cargo container was costing them $1,500 to get from China, and that it was up 500% and could cost $30,000 to get from China. And that's just the shipping, not the product. And obviously there was some weird numbers in there. I don't know where he's going with it, but yeah, he kind of tanked the stock by basically saying that their shipping costs are now so high that they're not going to make a profit for a while. And, yeah, I thought that was really bizarre that he would admit to that, unless he's just trying to, warn on the stock, future stock reports. But yeah, both companies are kind of struggling to find an audience that anyone is interested in.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Traeger dip so low to the point where they were actually below Weber for the first time, because Traeger had always been any number of dollars higher than Weber, but slowly they
lowest close since
changed.
they
That's right.
Lowest close since they went public. It's now a $1.6 billion company, and Weber's just over $4 billion. Yeah. So neither one of them are performing well.
Anyway, fuck all that. Derek has a new book out, ladies and gentlemen, and it's called The Complete Guide to Smoking Meat: 100 Smoking Good Recipes for Barbecue and More. Was this the thing that you couldn't tell me on the way out last month, that you just had to tie up a few things, or is that something separate?
Yeah, the publisher contract had a specific date in which you're not allowed to talk about it, which was stupid because it was already listed on Amazon at that point. But, I don't want to be in contract violation.
Well, few want to be in contract violation of anything. So how does this book come to be? Were you approached?
Yeah, we were approached earlier in the year, and we just said, yeah, let's go for it. I mean, it was it's a pretty decent deal, and it gets the, back on, this is our third book, actually. So, yeah, I actually kind of like doing books because it makes you go back to basics. It makes you kind of rethink stuff, and you got to kind of pull out the old classics and rethink them, and then at the same time kind of, what's new and what's kind of innovative, and, where can we go with that? So it's a lot of fun to play with doing a book.
Listed at the bottom, Derrick Riches as an author, and Sabrina Baksh. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay.
You said it right.
Is it common knowledge that Sabrina is your wife to everybody, or is that something that you just don't go out of your way to tell everybody, or people in the know, but people out of the know? Like what? Because nobody's got the same last name there, by the way.
Well, yeah. I mean, that kind of happens that way. I don't, it's not secret. It's not like I've kind of kept, we've either one of us have tried to keep it quiet. I mean, we've worked together for 20 years and, she is listed as the author of a lot of the recipes that are on DerrickRiches.com. So it's not like, we're trying to hide anything, but she has kind of her area and I kind of have my area, and she's a lot more general food and cooking development. She works with some chefs and does a lot of kind of writing and development in those areas. So doing the books is a time when we actually kind of come together and go, all right, let's do this whole thing together and work on it as a team.
So as you're developing this book and getting it together, are you in charge of certain portions of the book and she's in charge of certain portions of the book? Or are you both equally adept at creation and execution and things like this, and it's just a complete 50-50 group effort?
She's a far better editor than I am. So a lot of the writing that gets done, I will kind of hammer out a bunch of that stuff, and then she'll go back and fix it all and rewrite it and complain about some of my word usage and stuff like that. But for the most part, we sit down, we go through what we're going to cook. We talk about, all the recipes that are going to go there. And then we work out what the flavor profiles, the methods are going to be. And then we cook together. So it's a very much a team effort.
What's it like to work with your wife? You said you've done it, for the last 15 years. So obviously there's a familiarity there, but was that something that you had to break into, or it was just rather comfortable and there were no issues or jagged little edges that you had to round out in the beginning?
No, our work life and personal life are pretty much kept separate. So we can argue about a recipe and then go and do whatever. And, it's not like an issue for us. I think we've always worked together really, really well. We've always cooked together. Ever since, we were dating, we cooked together. So, that's always just been a very comfortable aspect for our lives. So this works out for us really well. I do know married couples that cannot work together, but fortunately we're not one of those.
When is the book available for, or when, if you pre-order it now, which I imagine you could go to DerrickRiches.com and figure out a way to do there, or would you go to Amazon.com to pre-order? What's the best way?
Either one. It's on Amazon. There's a link over on the right side of DerrickRiches.com. Take you right there. Pre-order now. Kindle version became available today, and the book is technically available on December 7th. And so if you pre-order, you should have it by the 7th.
All right. So
December.
Make sure that you, through any of those channels, order this book, The Complete Guide to Smoking Meat, 100 smoking good recipes for barbecue and more. And then next month, when we rejoin, we'll be able to track how the first handful of weeks has gone, and we'll see how that goes. Anything else, Derrick, before I let you go tonight?
No, I think that covers everything.
All right. Well, you guys have a great leg of lamb for Thanksgiving, and be safe, and we'll see you in December as we close out the year.
Yeah, see you at the end of the year.
All right, there he is. Derrick Riches right there. The new book is out. The new book is available for pre-order and will be out on December 7th. So if you pre-order it now, you should have it in your hands December 7th or soon after. So check it out. Support our friends of the show. Derrick Riches, a fourth Tuesday of the month regular guest, typically in the 35 past the hour spot. However, he's 14. Bill Oakley is in the green room, and he's ready to go 35 past. I'll talk to you quickly about Primo grills. What do we love about ceramic cookers? We love that they are fuel efficient. We love that you can achieve low and slow temperatures for traditional barbecue meats. We also love that you can get rip-roaring hot for high temperature grilling of steaks and other thin cuts. But what's missing in the everyday lineup of ceramic cookers? The real ability to do true zone true two-zone cooking. Two-zone cooking, very important to both professionals and backyard cooks. It is the best way to manage a fire and cook with confidence. However, getting a two-zone fire in a round ceramic cooker, not very realistic. Why? Because it's round. Enter Primo Grills, the game-changing oval design. The shape gives you the ability to execute two-zone setup that you desire. It also gives you the ability and achieve the benefits of other ceramic cookers as well. Really, when you break it down, there's like 60 different ways that you can configure the Primo cooker. So you're only limited by your culinary imagination. We all know the lift hinge has been revamped, the air dampers, of course, but now there's the half drip pan that we saw last week, and that rib ring with the chicken stand in the middle of it, and the pizza grill accessory, all in stock at dealers, getting ready to be shipped out to a dealer near you as well. Here's the bottom line. Best ceramics in the biz, yes. Patented technology, yes. True two-zone cooking capabilities. Multiple sizes, yes and yes. If you have to have a round one, they have those too, but really, consider the oval for Pete's sake. Visit primogrill.com for a dealer near you, or check out their Facebook and Instagram. I'm ready for a Primo. I know you're ready. Again, the website, primogrill.com. And we are back with Bill Oakley right after this. Stick around.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we thank Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com for joining us last segment. This portion of the show being brought to you by CookinPellets.com, your #1 source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit CookinPellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also visit Amazon.com to purchase as well. My next guest tonight, accomplished fast food reviewer on social media, specifically Instagram, because of the 1-minute time limit. You can also find him right here on this show every so often, talking about fast food and food in general. So we race to the hotline. And welcome back, friend of the show, Bill Oakley. Hey, Bill.
Hello.
How are you?
It's good to be back. I am good. I'm happy to be back on the show.
I'm happy to have you. Glad you could fill in here this evening on the 35, because our normal 35 had a lot of extra content that I was deeply afraid that the little bit shorter segment was going to be too short to get through everything. But I digress, and we're going to be talking about some good stuff here. First of all, when you were on the last time, I think that Simpson's Cookbook was either just being released or just being available for pre-order, something along these lines. So how is that going? And I would presume, and I know no bias on your part, that this would make a really good holiday gift.
Yes. I happen to have one right here. I don't make any money from this, by the way. I wrote the foreword, but Laurel Randolph wrote the book, and it's an absolutely terrific book for any Simpsons fan who's interested in the food. It's got all the crazy fictional food that appeared on the show. You know, corn nog, Homer's patented space age moon waffles, flaming moe's, recipes for all those things. And it also has beautiful photography all the way through that looks like it's, things from the show brought into the real world. And as the author of the Steamed Hams segment, there's also the Steamed Hams in there, obviously. And I wrote the introduction, and I provided a recipe that I made up for tub, which is exclusive to this book. So I would say this is honestly, if you're a Simpsons fan, or you know a Simpsons fan who's interested in cooking or food, or even just looking at these terrific pictures, definitely they should check this out. It's I've seen a lot of Simpsons books over the years, and this is probably, it could be my favorite. It's certainly in the top couple.
Are there like autobiography books of the Simpsons that are out there?
There's also, there's got millions of books of every shape and description of, the world of Springfield, of the family, there's official books, unofficial books, behind the scenes books, all that kind of stuff.
That's not even a real place.
After 30 years, it might as well be a real place. People have it drilled into their brain. And for many people, like the stuff that happens on The Simpsons is just as real, if not realer, than the stuff that happens and it's actually somewhat less crazy than the real world these days too. So take solace in that.
Bill Oakley joining me here on the show. You can find him over on Instagram at @thatbilloakley. About 33,000 followers are checking him out on a daily basis. Bill, let me ask you, this time of year, so we think Thanksgiving, we think holiday season, but if you are really into the fast food scene, like in a maniac way, you know what this time of year is, of course. What is it? The reemergence of the either infamous or famous McRib sandwich. Now, I have widely documented my angst of the McRib sandwich. However, it would appear, wow, that's huge. It would appear that I'm in the minority of where people fall on this thing. Is that the fanny pack?
Yes, that's behind me. It's the McRib fanny pack. Were you familiar with this already?
I just saw it on social media. Somebody was digging. Okay, this is what it was. A fan of the show knows my staunch detraction of McRib and sent me the link that said, "Look at this guy," and he was, feverishly putting on this fanny pack. So,
well, here you go. I got the fanny pack right here. Hold on. There you go. Okay. Here is the fanny pack that came in that box.
So are you supposed to put a McRib in there, or you just use it for your regular storage of sunglasses and wallets?
Regular stuff. If you're not embarrassed to be wearing it, I mean, it's kind of nice. Anyway, yes, the McRib merchandise is a little late in arriving because it's already been out since November 1st, and I guess they had there's some supply chain issues with their McRib promotional merchandise. So, but it's out and it is back to it's exactly the same. It's a comforting. I wrote an article about this a couple years ago when it came out. It's a comforting throwback to fast food of the old days, of the 70s and early 80s. In fact, my latest video on Instagram is about the Burger King Italian chicken sandwich, which just came back. That's from 1979, and there's a whole category of which those two are members of this vintage fast food stuff that is very different than today. It's very processed. It's very fake, but it's a nostalgia item. Both of them are nostalgia items, and I have to say that I like the McRib, but I don't like. It's actually better that it only be available for a short period every year because you grow nostalgia. It's a process of building nostalgia for this thing. As opposed to in Germany where they have the McRib all year long,
right? And
they got a lot of unusual variants on it, like they have a chili cheese McRib and stuff that I just saw, and they always are doing. I think the thing is here that it is better as a special novelty throwback item, and it's worth it. You get one every year or so to rekindle your nostalgia bone.
What I find very impressive from a McDonald's standpoint is they really play on the whole marketing of this. You think when it's going to be coming out, but it's always a surprise when it drops. I mean, now it's really tough to keep anything under wraps because of social media and everybody's trying to be the first, this and that and the other thing. But they developed an app because they weren't releasing it throughout the country in all areas till last year, where there was the first nationwide rollout and previous to 13 years before that. And then they have this app so you could find where it was in the nearest city to you, so you could get in the car and drive 2 hours to get a McRib sandwich. I've tried it probably 4 or 5 different times to go back to it to make sure that my particular unwillingness to like it still remains, because, hey, everybody's flavor taste changes every 5 years or 10 years or whatever it is. And it's just not something that I can, and it has nothing to do with me being a barbecue guy or saying I'm too good for that or anything. I mean, I like fast food just like the next guy every now and again, but I've just been not able to get down with it, mostly maybe because of the slivered onions, which I don't
really.
So I hate onions, just up front. I hate onions of all types.
It's so incredibly, it was just fake ground up shaped processed meat, but the onions are the killer for you. Wow. That's the deal breaker. The onions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the pork is definitely not great, but I hate onions of all types. And then I'm a huge pickle guy, but I think pickles are odd to have on a rib sandwich as well. So the whole thing just screams disjointed to me, and the sauce is, I don't like the sauce a lot, but that seems to also be a big pull for a lot of folks. So as you see people regaling you with why they like it, is it just the overall flavor of it together? Is it one particular component that really takes the trophy over the rest of the sandwich? What is it? And what is it for you?
Well, it's 50% nostalgia. Like if it was available all year long, I would maybe order it once every 3 years. But like the event, when it returns every 18 months or so, is noteworthy. And it's just kind of it's an interesting addition to the McDonald's canon. It has a McDonald's-y flavor, like all of their food does, but it's a different utilization of that flavor. So it's kind of like it's like, I don't know, it's like a long lost cousin or something. I have no particular love for it, but I like to try it every so often.
Bill Oakley joining us here, fast food reviewer, and you can find him over on Instagram at @ThatBillOakley. Here's something that I found unique as I'm running through your Instagram the other day. Arby's releases flavored vodkas. I didn't even know they were in the liquor business, and here you are making special cocktails and, downing shots of flavored vodkas via Arby's. What was that?
You know how every week or so there's something that is the internet thing of the week? Arby's vodka was the internet thing of the week last week, 2 weeks ago, because they released it. There was a lot of run up to it, and then they released it. I think it was a week ago, Monday. The website went live and immediately crashed because they built up all this demand for it, and I think it was a huge success. Arby's is very, very adept at weird marketing things. They're always doing some weird marketing thing, and thank God they send them to me generally. With a flavored sweatsuit they sent, and the hat, and all this crazy stuff. And the vodka was actually pretty good. Like it was. I've had a lot of weird flavored vodkas this year. This has been something I've gotten so many. The dill pickle flavored, the Old Bay crab flavored vodka, and these were actually among the best. Like the thing is, well, first of all, they're French. They're not Arby's roast beef flavored. They're French fry flavored, right? And they got two kinds of fries at Arby's. They have the crinkle fries, which are just your standard old crinkle fries, but very good. So that vodka tastes just a little bit more like potato than a regular potato vodka would. Totally fine, and it goes well in a Bloody Mary or whatever. The other one is the spicy curly fry one, which has, again, the potato flavor, but has those certain spices that you would come to expect from curly fries in them. And again, very mild. In both cases, they're very good. They're very good at mixing for a Bloody Mary or something like that. And I don't know if I would purchase them in a store, but to have once as a conversation piece, they're very good and far better than the average freaky fast food promotional thing.
Do they sell them online? Like you were talking about?
Yeah,
demands.
They had a website. They were only available via the website, which apparently crashed immediately and repeatedly because there was a lot of interest in this thing, and the website was not able to handle the traffic.
Did they mention who they partner with to actually make the liquor?
Yes, it's a pretty well-known distillery, but I don't remember it offhand, but you can easily Google it or look on the Arby's website or Instagram.
Mid-September, you do a French fry test, which I've always thought about thinking that would be fun to do, and then I never remembered to actually go through it, which is like pretty much the whole thing of my life. A lot of great ideas, no execution, and here I am in mediocrity. So you have the gold standard of fries listed at McDonald's. Why is that the gold standard in your opinion?
Well, first of all, we got to say we're only testing nationally available French fries from fast food chains.
Yeah.
So there are, and I went to a lot of them, and the top contenders that people often say, are McDonald's, people like Wendy's, some people like Burger King, some people like Arby's, the curly fries and the crinkle fries. The crinkle fries I actually think are terrific if you get a well-cooked batch. But honestly, and in this case, you got to have the fries immediately. Like fries do not hold up for delivery. They don't even hold up till you get home in most cases. You got to eat them right out of the drive-through. And so that's what I did. And this was caused by Wendy's. Wendy's had this giant promotional campaign for their new fries. They're hot and crispy fries or whatever they're called, that they redeveloped. They painstakingly for years spent this new all this technology to develop these new fries that remain crispy even through 25 minutes of delivery, right? And so I had all these things. The outcome was the Wendy's fries do remain kind of crispy, but they don't really have that much flavor. They taste kind of like a blank slate. They're without ketchup, they would be not worth eating. McDonald's fries are the only ones that Obviously, they're crispy when you first get them, but they were the only ones that I would be worth eating without dunking in ketchup. They're good enough. And like, are they amazing? Like, honestly, as I said in the video, I like McDonald's fries, but I would always rather have a second burger for the same amount of calories. For 400 calories, I could get a second cheeseburger, which would be so much more satisfying than fries. So I do get fries generally sometimes when I'm eating in a restaurant, when I'm eating and in fast food, I'm dining in. But if I'm driving or something like that, I will always get a second cheeseburger instead of any fries.
I went through a Wendy's about a month ago, going to my oldest daughter's volleyball game, saw the messaging that they have all over about their new fries, hot and crispy, this and that. So we went through, we got a burger, fries, of course, and they were lukewarm and not what I would say crunchy. And on the drive-through window, it says, if it's not hot and crispy, tell us, and we'll make you new. Who the hell is going to wait for fries?
You're going to drive around. They're going to tell you to pull over into the space for the
yes.
drive-through.
Like, do you eat one as they hand you the bag and go, wait a second, boom, it's not hot nor crispy. I'm going to need a new batch. I mean, I think you're also going to get a flavor of spittle on those as well if you're going to be that D-bag in the drive-through, don't you?
Yeah, and you're not going to endear yourself to the drivers behind you if you don't pull over into the space. So, but those fries, let me say, I like Wendy's and I appreciate the stuff that they send me, but I couldn't tell those fries were. I've done blind tests that I have not put on Instagram several times now. First of all, I couldn't tell that they were any difference between the new and the old fries, and they're not anything special. They're not that hot or crispy, and they don't have that much flavor. I don't think it was a success. I will also say, just as a sidebar to all of this, I don't like French fries that much. I love onion rings, and somebody told me Jack in the Box has great onion rings. I know that they probably don't have Jack in the Box where you are.
No.
But they did. I was shocked at how good the onion rings were at the Jack in the Box that I went to. So that was a real revelation.
Bill, are you having a traditional Thanksgiving coming up in a couple days, or what's the Oakley tradition out there?
It is very traditional. In fact, if anything, it needs to be shaken up a little bit because I have cooked the same item for about 30 straight years, the same four or five items, and I think I'm going to try to add something a little strange to it, even if it's a dessert item. But it's just, yes, everyone, we all like to have the traditional things once a year, and I have this stuffing recipe that my mom has been using since the 50s, that with chestnuts and stuff, that has been very popular, and it's also great for leftovers. Somebody told me a couple years ago about the whole idea of putting the stuffing in a waffle iron, the leftover stuffing in a waffle iron, and it's so good. It's so good, and it's crispy, and then you can put your mashed potatoes and your gravy on top of that, and that's what I look forward to Thanksgiving mostly.
Bill Oakley is a fast food reviewer. You can find him over on Instagram at @ThatBillOakley and follow his exploits. You can also find him on the show every once in a while talking about fast food and food in general. Bill, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on and joining the club here this year, and look forward to many segments in 2022.
Excellent. Thank you very much for having me, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And you too, Greg.
There he is, Bill Oakley, right there. Follow him on Instagram if you're not doing it right now. 33,000 of you are. Good for you. And I will confirm as to what he said. As he was doing that fry review, he did say, oh, by the way, if given the choice, F the fries, I'm going to have the second burger for the same amount of calories, which I agree with. Now, outside of fries, Wendy's makes a pretty good burger. The cool stuff is cool. The burger isn't bad. I mean, remember, we're talking about fast food, which I don't typically eat. But, hey, burger-wise, I feel okay for that, given what it is. The fries were trash. Like, embarrassing. Come on, Wendy's. Twice in 2 days, because I wanted to try the fries twice to give them another shot. Not good. Not good. Come on. All right, let me talk to you quickly about Yoder Smokers. Designing and building all of their products right here in the States, building pride through craftsmanship, world-class customer service. That's the backbone of how they've built the company. This approach translates into what can be a truly bespoke style product that elevates gatherings and friends and family. They're honored to have a trusted place in the backyards of America. From pellet grills to wood-fired offset pits or charcoal grills, consistent blue ribbon flavor has become synonymous with Yoder Smokers' name. Make no mistake, Yoder Smokers' flavor-driven design is unique to each style of pit, and their team has developed cookers to perform time and time again while outlasting the competition for generations to come. It's this generational thought that's rooted in the handmade products and defines the integrity of the core values. American-made quality and endless flavor are the benchmarks of Yoder Smokers. Check them out if you're not aware. I know you're all aware, but if you're not aware, if you're just new, you're finding the show, you have no idea what I'm talking about, Yoder Smokers, plural, yodersmokers.com, and check out all the pits that they have. Iron Chef Michael Simon from right here in Cleveland, Ohio, owns a Yoder's offset. The Cimarron, is that what it's called? It's a pretty decent-sized offset. Sturdy looking, I'll tell you. Yodersmokers.com. That's Yodersmokers.com, and we'll be back to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back, and we thank Bill Oakley last segment at that Bill Oakley on Instagram. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard and Fireboard Spark. Remember Fireboard Spark, just announced a couple weeks ago? It's an instant read meat thermometer. It's also a single-channel Fireboard. It can also interact with your Fireboard 2 or Fireboard 2 Drive or Fireboard 2 Pro and fit in with your monitoring. The Fireboard 2, Fireboard 2 Drive can monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously, connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring, or connect via Bluetooth if you have a smart speaker at home. You're in luck because Fireboard probably is integrated to work with it. You can find out more by visiting fireboard.com. That's fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. That's 816-945-2232. Great gifts for the holidays, everybody. Fireboard 2 and Fireboard 2 Drive. Or if you were thinking about getting an instant read meat thermometer from a well-known brand who is mentioned widely on the show and every other show ever, think about the Spark, the Fireboard Spark, because not only is it going to be just as accurate and as quick, maybe quicker than the ThermaPen, it also will turn into its own single-channel remote thermometer, which you can hook to your Wi-Fi. You can monitor right on your phone. You can monitor on your computer. It will log, all that fun stuff. So dual action. Also, it's a clearinghouse for everything else to display. If you're running a Fireboard 2, you can set it up in display mode. I think that's what it's called. And you can get all the readouts right there on the Fireboard Spark. Fireboard.com. Go get yours right now. All right, once again, we thank Bill Oakley for joining me last segment talking about French fries from major fast food places. We agree that Wendy's misses the mark. He did say that Arby's crinkle cut fries, if done in the right batch, or you get the right batch, are extremely good. But the control is McDonald's because those seem to be the best. My only complaint about McDonald's fries is there doesn't seem to be a lot of potato in them. There's a lot of, it's not crunchy, but there's a lot of texture on the outside. There's not a lot of potato in it. So I will sacrifice a little more. I will sacrifice texture from the outside to add more potato on the inside, because that's what it is. It's a potato in the end. There's got to be a good mix there. And McDonald's has a lot of good stuff on the outside, not a lot of good stuff on the inside. All right, don't forget, we are running the GoFundMe for my watch that everybody needs to chip in some money for so we can show Will Ford that crowdfunding is indeed fun and exciting, fun and funny. The link over on YouTube I'll go ahead and grab it and put it in here during the break as well. Why not? Do it right now. There we go. Copied. Get after it. It's in the YouTube chat right now. We will step away, refresh libations, point to the second hour where we have a bunch of stuff to get to, not the least of which is the Embedded Correspondents segment. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The Barbecue Central Show.
Hey, this is Helen Paradise from SoCal, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet 4 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Welcome aboard. If you missed the first hour, all right. I'm recording, and you can get it tomorrow on podcast replay. Second hour will come on Thursday. You'll get a Best of Friday. I'll talk to you about that here in a second. Don't forget, coming up on the show this evening, still the Embedded Correspondents, of course. Doug Scheiding will be joining us, and Rusty Monson will be joining us, and John Solberg, of course, will be joining us. So plenty of shenanigans and tomfoolery afoot. In about 13 minutes from now, not the least of which, the 100% Assurity Picks, which we will be asking folks in Clubhouse if they want to join in when we get there to raise their hand. We'll bring them up on stage, and they can join in with us. Smokin' Joe's Barbecue Pit, $40 of 12,000 reached so far. That's right. It only takes one $12,000 donation to get what we need there, right? Hey, don't forget you can follow me socially, of course. Whoa, what is going on there, Junior? There we go. Oh. Let's get it up. Boy, in a vacuum, that sounds weird. Don't forget you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Snapchat, /BBQ Central Show on Facebook and Twitch for a video feed, also /RD Rempe on YouTube for a video feed. We are live audibly on Clubhouse as well, so if you can't get me on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or whatever live streaming on the video side, and you don't want to listen through the audio-only thing, you can get me on YouTube as well. We have a nice little round audience in there right now. You can also get an ad-free podcast feed experience if you want to become a Patreon over at the Patreon page, which is patreon.com/BBQ Central Show. Or if you're an Apple Podcast user, you can subscribe for an ad-free experience right in the show on that banner that says ad-free experience or whatever the hell it says. Or just continue to get the show as you do each and every week, and away you go. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less this Friday, episode 204, if you can believe it. We will be bringing you back to March 2018, not that long ago. This particular show is coming from a stint of live shows that I did at the National Barbecue and Grilling Association in Fort Worth, Texas that year. This one is requested by friend of show and GoFundMe contributor Stover Harger III. And in this episode, I interviewed Sean Walchef from Cali Comfort Barbecue, who is the host of the Digital Hospitality Podcast. However, in this particular instance, I did my first interview I ever did with Sean. We got the whole story of Sean's background and how he got into the barbecue business, which was more or less the restaurant business to begin with, then turning it into a barbecue business. We also talked about what NBBQA meant to him at that time and how that particular association helped catapult them to a fairly large degree, I think back in 2007 or 2008 when he was getting going. And this is really a great way to get introduced to Sean and hear how his journey started and where they were at that time in 2008. By the way, this time in Fort Worth spawned two of my most favorite interviews that I've ever done as I look back on all the interviews I've done. I did one, and remember, I was live on location at the NBBQA for 3 days. I did 3 hours a day for 3 days. The only podcast / live host that was there, or live show that was there, that produced 9 hours of live content right there during the show as it was happening. Everybody else recorded an interview here, recorded an interview there. People were winning awards that year. A lot of those guys not even anywhere to be found anymore. I did 9 hours of live shows, 2 of which, as I got sidetracked, were my most favorite ones ever. One with the late, great, the legend Mike Mills, and one with Linda Orison. You would know her as Mama Shed from The Shed. I mean, think about that. Within those were back-to-back days, I had 2 of the biggest names in the business just having long-form interview. I think we did an hour with, or close to an hour with Mike Mills, close to an hour with Linda. Linda sharing incredible stories of how the Shed came to be and their background. Linda's in the Clown Hall of Fame, if you can believe it. That's not a joke. She's a professional clown. She was so good. She's in the Clown Hall of Fame. They've retired her, the makeup markings and everything. Mike Mills, that was the interview. He told me that his original business was making false teeth, or as he called them, falsies. And that even to that day in 2008, which was only, that lab was only a few miles down the road from 17th Street, he still has it opening and operating just in case the barbecue thing didn't work out in 2008. Incredible. I also did interviews that week with Chris Bonnemeyer from Code 3 Spices, the guy from Kick-Ash Basket. Jess Pryles was there. We talked about dry aging. She had just written a huge article on that at that point. Chris Lilly came by for an in-person interview. So if you're ever looking for some really good older shows in that 3 to 4 year range that were live somewhere, and I was sitting in front of these people, I was trying to figure out that first day, like why I felt so nervous or weird. It was because while I've interviewed most of those people before, I've never done it actually sitting in front of somebody where if I offended somebody, like the worst they can do to me now is hang up the phone. But somebody could reach over and take a poke at me if they thought I was taking a run at them live and in person. I don't want any part of that. Those were great shows. Am I eager to make a run out somewhere else and do it again? Not necessarily. But I did it. There's still too many technical hurdles that could appear for me to clear, and then I'm going to go out of my mind. And it happened there that first day before we even started the day of shows. I had them run Cat 5 line for miles, blah, blah, blah. I won't get into it. Don't forget, if you want to hear a guest or segment again that you've already heard on the show, email John, who puts it all together, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com. That's John, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com, and he'll do his best to meet your expectation. And then there's this. Folks, what are we talking about here on the show every once in a while? Everybody thinks it's funny. Everybody thinks it's cute. But it's real, and it continues to exist. And I'm not even kidding. Gang sold tons of horse disguised as beef and put rotting meat in hamburgers. Brazilian officials say it ain't so.
Get that big stuff out of here.
You're not giving my grassroots effort any gas here. In fact, you're snuffing that fire out with things like this. Reported from CNN.com, a gang of 6 people accused of stealing horses for slaughter and selling the meat to restaurants disguised as beef have been arrested in southern Brazil, according to officials. A statement from the Public Ministry of Rio Grande do Sul on Thursday said the gang distributed more than 800 kilograms to you lames, that's just shy of 1,800 pounds, of hidden horse meat per week to restaurants in the, I have no idea what region that is. Up to 60% of restaurants in that area with beef on the menu had unwittingly bought horse meat from the gang disguised in steaks, hamburgers, public health officials said. Oh, dear. Inspectors also discovered other forms of spoiled meat, including rotting pork, turkey, and leftover food from pig feeding establishments. They were also mixed inside the hamburgers, according to the statement. Officials said an investigation was launched 2 months ago after local agricultural defense inspectors raised the alarm. Forensic tests carried out, and the restaurant selling hamburgers in Casas da Sol confirmed the presence of horse DNA in the food, according to the prosecutor Alcindo Batos, who coordinated the operation. Good job. Way to take him down, boys. I'm hoping some of the Centralites played a hand down in Brazil. I have a large burgeoning audience down in Brazil. And they said, hey, Rempe's trying to make a go of it of horse meat legality here in the States. We can't have people in other parts of the world dragging us down and throwing a wet blanket on his surge of popularity and acceptance here in the States. We can't have that. So thank you to the authorities in Brazil for catching that. We can't have people going around passing off horse meat as beef. We want horse meat to be celebrated as horse meat. Come on. All right, we have the Embedded Correspondents in the green room. I will talk to you quickly about Yukon Glory and their grill and serve set. Absolute revolution when it comes to the landscape of grilling baskets. Because what do we know? I hate 2 things about grilling baskets during cooks. I have to wear some kind of heat-resistant glove to take the thing off the cooker. And number 2, it gets grease and oil over my table or my countertop or wherever I put it when I set it down to serve. Being someone who's known as a clean freak, that's not something I can really get down with. So what's a gal to do? Enter a great product from Yukon Glory called the Grill and Serve Set. This patented design fixes everything. The set includes 3 stainless steel grill baskets, which are moved by a clip-on handle that seamlessly grips the interior of the basket for easy lifting and dropping. The set also has a large custom-fitted stainless steel serving tray to catch any drips and allows for a beautiful table presentation. But perhaps in my case, and more importantly, gives you a clean table when everybody's done eating. Thank you, Yukon Glory. What about cooking things in these? What should you do? Glad you asked. How about veggies or seafood or wings? You ever heard of tacos? How about meats of all types? If you can think of it, you can use the Grill and Serve set for it. As far as where to buy, the standard places: Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target. Of course, you can go to YukonGlory.com. That's YukonGlory.com and use checkout code 10Central, 10 Central, for a 10% discount on your order each and every time. So go to YukonGlory.com, order everything up, 10 Central, 10 Central, for 10% off your order each and every time. Here we go. We have the Embedded Correspondents coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by the Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet, currently available in 3 sizes with a host of accessories. Whether you're a beginner or professional, definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com or tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. And don't forget, as you look for gifts this year, endgrainusa.com as well for that high-level cutting board that you will not regret. Whether it's a gift for yourself or a gift for somebody else that you really like, if you're getting them that, that's where you want to go. So pitbarrelcooker.com and then endgrainusa. It is the fourth Tuesday of the month, and you know what that means. We race to the hotline. And welcome back, the Embedded Correspondents. Here they are right here. Did I get it right? I got it right. There we go. So right to my right, if you're looking at the screen, the longest-running Embedded Correspondent is Doug Scheiding from Texas. Right below me, the second longest-running correspondent, John Solberg from Michigan. And down there, caddy bottom right to me is Rusty Monson from the great city of Utah.
There seems to be a mistake.
What's that?
I'm at the bottom. 4 here.
I said I got it. I got everything worked out. I got everything worked out. We're all back. We're good. No mistakes made. We're all back into where we should be. So before we do this, let me get right on over to Clubhouse and see. I'm going to ask this guy if he wants to come up, see if he takes the bait here. I said, if you're on Clubhouse and you want to raise your hand, you want to take part in the 100% Assurity Picks with us, I'm going to give somebody the opportunity to do that. So we'll see if anybody decides to take my little invite. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
right. Hold on. Lance, are you there?
I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, it worked.
Congratulations. You ready to do the 100% Assurity Picks with us, Lance?
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
All right, here we go. Guys, it's the favorite part of our Embedded Correspondent segment, or growing favorite part here, as we've only done a handful of times. This is what we call the 100% Assurity Picks, which means I'm going to say, you tell me 100% yes or 100% no as an answer to this question that I'm about to ask. Now, Lance, I have to apologize in advance on the first one because there is a visual component to this, which you're not going to be able to see, but I know you're a super fan of the show, so you probably have an idea of what we're talking about. You can paint that mental picture. So here we go. First one right off the bat. 100% yes or 100% no. Should this steak from a Creekstone retailer be allowed in a KCBS steak event? Now allow me to flash this picture here. Here it is. Should this steak right here on this very picture that is brought to you by a Creekstone retailer, you can see the tag top right saying Creekstone Farm, should that be allowed in a KCBS steak contest? 100% yes or 100% no? John.
I need
100% no.
All right.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Lance, 100% yes or 100% no? That steak should be allowed in a KCBS steak event.
Since I can't see it, is it in butcher paper or is it wrapped in clear plastic?
Well, it is in a shrink wrap, but it does mention the name of this local meat retailer, and it does have a Creekstone tag on it. So 100% yes or 100% no?
No.
All right. Rusty, 100% yes or 100% no?
I'm going to say no just because it's against the rules. It's against the rules.
Doug, this is the picture of your steak. This is the thing that you were planting the flag on last month. So 100% yes or 100% no, this should be allowed in a KCBS steak event.
Should it be? Yes.
Doug, tap your microphone.
Yeah. No way. Yeah. Hello.
No, tap your microphone. Tap it. No, that's not picking up. Your computer microphone's picking up for some reason.
Okay.
All right. So 100% yes or 100% no?
Yes.
All right. 100% yes or 100% no for me? No. Of course not. Now, I have done a little due diligence to further escalate this conversation. So I will go to my messages. Where the hell is that messages at? Allow it to boot up here. I apologize. I'm not Johnny on the spot, evidently. From one David Qualls, the creator of KCBS steak competitions, I sent him this picture. And I said, David, is this something that is allowed in a steak competition? And he said, 100%? No.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Has to come from their website with their USDA established code on the packaging. Also, he mentioned, they're checking very close for reseller products as well, which means if they scrape the sticker off or something like this, that they wouldn't approve it. So if they saw a sticker being torn off the vacuum packaging or something along these lines. Also, a rep can ask for website purchase verification. So they seem to be holding this in a very high regard. So while I appreciate Doug's effort and consternation and wanting to get his particular steak vendor approved by KCBS because they sell Creekstone steaks, that is not going to be happening. All right, we move on. 100% yes or 100% no? Lance, are you shocked to learn that Food Network and Bobby Flay have come to a new 3-year deal as of yesterday?
No, 100%.
All right.
Get that big stuff out of here.
John, are you 100% yes or 100% no shocked to learn that Bobby Flay and Food Network are back at it?
100% not shocked.
All right.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Doug, 100% yes or 100% no? Shocked that they are back together? Well, now I can't hear you at all. Did you mute yourself? No? I could hear you on the computer before. Doug, figure it out. Rusty, 100% yes or 100% no? Are you shocked that Bobby Flay and Food Network are back at it?
Bobby Flay built that. Deserves every second of it. I don't know. Not shocked at all. Good on him.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Me, 100% yes or 100% no? Shocked that they were able to reconcile? Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. If Bobby Flay was making that big of a stink and stalling and saying we are at an impasse, mostly because he was butthurt because Guy Fieri was making $80 million over the course of 3 years and evidently he wasn't going to get it, I can only assume that he got something similar, I would imagine. But it seemed like he had had enough. He was going to be moving on. He was going to be going to other places and rebuilding the Flay brand or bringing the Flay brand to wherever he was going to be going, and he was going to be happy with that. So, yeah, 100%. I am shocked that they were coming together. Now, no terms of the deal disclosed as of yet, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. Next question. I think Doug's punched out, and he's going to be trying to get back in here in a moment. Lance, we'll go back to you. 100% yes or 100% no? Thanksgiving is the best food holiday during the year.
Absolutely yes.
All right. John, 100% yes or 100% no? Thanksgiving is the best food holiday of the year.
100% no.
All right. Now we have controversy. I love it. Rusty, 100% yes or 100% no? Thanksgiving is the best food holiday of the year.
John, drunk? John. Yes. What else? There's not even a fucking song for Thanksgiving. Give it this. You know? Give it this.
John, rebuttal?
Hey, there is Thanksgiving songs. Adam Sandler comes to mind. We want to hear the Thanksgiving song. So with that argument's out. And it's like, it's a turkey, it's mashed potatoes, it's stuffing. It's like, come on. It's like, no, it's the same thing 8 billion times across America. Yes, it's a great celebration holiday. Yes, it's not a political or a religious holiday. It has a lot of wonderful things. But is it the greatest food holiday? It's a turkey. It's mashed potatoes. Have a nice day.
We will try. Doug, Going back to him, 100% yes or 100% no. Thanksgiving is the best food holiday of the year. Doug.
In a rare event, I agree with John. No.
All right. 100% yes or 100% no for me. Thanksgiving is not.
Andrew, you are not the father.
It is not the best food holiday of the year. And so you have it. So that's 3 of 5. So we rule the day on that one. We go back to Lance. Lance, turkey is pretty blah tasting. 100% yes or 100% no?
No.
Right. Rusty, turkey is pretty blah tasting. 100% yes or 100% no?
On its own, yeah. Doesn't taste like anything.
Right. Doug, turkey, pretty blah tasting.
Absolutely.
John, turkey, pretty blah tasting.
I just got to stop a minute. It's like, Rusty, it's the most greatest food holiday ever, so let's eat something that tastes like nothing and celebrate it. so never mind. You're a hypocrite. 100% not blah tasting. It is not blah tasting. It tastes like turkey, and turkey by itself is just delicious.
All right. 100% yes or 100% no for me. Turkey is just blah tasting. Yeah, it's blah taste. It does taste like turkey, and evidently to me, turkey is blah. Here we go. Back to Lance. This could be a fighting topic. Lance, mashed potatoes is better side than stuffing. 100% yes or 100% no?
100% no.
Rusty, mashed taters better than stuffing.
Yeah, hell yeah. Mashed potatoes are badass and stuffing sucks ass.
Wow. That's an A and an F, which I love. Doug.
Negative. Nope. Stuffing's better.
Whoa. We're splitting the hairs here. John, 100% yes or 100% no? Mashed potatoes is better than stuffing.
Mashed potatoes is better than stuffing. That's why you eat so much of it all year long, and you eat stuffing like once or twice. On the greatest food holiday ever, you pick another bad food. Stuffing, Rusty.
100% yes or 100% no? Mashed potatoes is better side than stuffing. 100% yes. Mashed potatoes are great. And if you don't eat them all that night, you can lightly chill them the next day, bread them, and have deep fried mashed potato balls if you would like. We only have 2 more left, guys, and then we'll get to the other stuff. And we appreciate Lance for showing up on Clubhouse and hanging out. He's in Hawaii, believe it or not, realtor to the stars out there and the common folk. Stuffing should be cooked in the bird only. 100% yes or 100% no? Lance.
That's a tough one because my entire life it was cooked in the bird, and it makes sense when they cook it outside. So I'm going to say 100% cook it outside.
All right. John, 100% yes or 100% no? Stuffing should be cooked outside of the bird only.
Outside the bird only, 100% yes.
All right. Rusty, outside the bird only, yes or no?
Third option, stuffing shouldn't be cooked, period.
We hate stuffing. That's stuffing. That's right.
Absolutely.
Doug, stuffing should be cooked outside of the bird.
Always.
Always. All right. And to round out with a full 100% Assurity pick this time around, yes, outside of the bird. Last one, guys. Here we go. Rusty, we'll start with you. All shaming aside, and we say it with peace and love.
Peace
and love. The McRib is really a great tasting sandwich. 100% yes or 100% no?
100% yes.
Right.
Absolutely. It's freaking delicious.
Doug, 100% yes. All right, Rusty. Doug, 100% yes or 100% no? The McRib is a great tasting sandwich.
No effing way.
No effing way. Wow. Bringing it strong. John, the McRib is a great tasting Sando. 100% yes or 100% no?
I'm sorry, Rusty. I want to love with you on this, and I bashed you a little bit tonight, but 100% no, it's not. I even tried again.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Sorry.
Going to the palatial island of Hawaii, Kona, right, Lance? Is it Kona?
Yes.
Yes. Where they make coffee, probably. 100% yes or 100% no, and all shaming aside, said with peace and love. Peace and love. The McRib is really a great tasting Sando. Lance?
With breakfast at McDonald's.
I'm sorry, I missed you. Was it yes or no?
That was an absolute worst thing on the planet.
Oh my.
Big stuff out of here.
Wow. Now we're taking shots at Rusty, I think. For me, 100% yes or 100% no. Of course, it's no. But I appreciate Rusty's stick-to-itiveness. He is not backing down off the McRib. He likes nostalgia. He likes whatever else he likes about it, and he sticks right by it. He is not one to conform under peer pressure, which is what we like. Lance, we want to thank you for joining in the 100% Assurity Picks. Would you like to promote anything before you leave tonight?
Just that I'm your Big Island realtor. Homes, lands, condos, whatever you want. Equestrian properties. If you're into eating horse, people look the other way. So, yeah, get a hold of me if you're out here. Thanks, guys.
All right. I would just like to say to the federal government, I have no idea who that guy is. We do not eat horse in these states. I don't know what the hell they're doing out there in Hawaii, but I'm not taking any part of that until it's legal. And I'm just saying that with peace and love. I'm warning you. With peace and love on that one. How about that? Wow. All right. So we got about 2.5 minutes left before we go to first break. And now we'll tackle some of these other topics here. Rusty, let's start with you. What are your Thanksgiving holiday traditions? What will you enjoy this coming Thursday with the fam?
We switch it up. So we do, we're not very traditional. We kind of just do a lot of things like brisket. We try to do old school stuff. We did a lot of elk for a while, deer, different things like that. Pheasant was really big when I was younger, and pheasant still is primarily one of the things I like to eat on Thanksgiving. But this year we're actually selling out and going the turkey route. But we make a whole thing. That's why I say it's my favorite, because we don't stick to the traditional turkey and the things we have to do. We make it look more like the Super Bowl. There's just a lot of different kinds of food out there. It's just all about eating and hanging out with family, and that's really what it's about. So our tradition is to kind of stick with, I would say, if I had to be as traditional as possible, I would say pheasant. Eating pheasant. And watching football. That was the big deal. We have to watch football. And I'm really excited about that.
Are you on the graze for the day, or do you have a crescendo time where everything will hit the table, everybody gets together and eats at one formal time?
We do both. So we have charcuterie out and different things, and then we have one at 4 o'clock. Everyone sits down to eat. And so, yeah, we have food all day, but then there's food then we have all the pies, and then everything stays out, and everyone just kind of grazes because everyone stays real late, and then we play games. It's pretty fun.
What kind of, aside from not stuffing, what other side dishes are you making to go along?
Mashed potatoes, mac and cheese this year, but traditionally we do
mac and cheese.
Yeah, mac and cheese. And traditionally we just do a lot of mashed potatoes. It's like potato everything, and then basically my sister makes this weird cranberry thing. It's really cool. It's like a savory sweet dish, and I don't even know what it is, but it has sweet potatoes in it. But it's really, really good.
All right. We will get to John and Doug and myself here in just a moment, and I will quickly talk to you about Green Mountain Grill's pellet cookers. You guys hang out. We'll be right back with you here in just 1 second. Green Mountain Grills, what are they offering you? A cooker to take on tailgates, parking lots, really versatile, fits in the back of trucks and vans and SUVs, and that is the Trek. So you're not sacrificing a ton of capacity for portability. It is wood pellet fired, so you're getting that smoky goodness. And you can take it pretty much anywhere you want to go. If you don't have access to a traditional power outlet, you can plug it in to the 12-volt outlet in your car. You can take a battery with you and use the battery clips. Number of different ways to power this thing. It's great. You can take it anywhere. Now, if you want something to go on the deck or on the patio, a couple different lines to choose from now. We have a choice line, which is your entry level. that will not give you a lot of the bells and whistles that you might get in a lot of these other cookers. So no Wi-Fi, no app connectivity, things like this, no internal meat probes. Just a nice, sturdy cooker, good space, cooks a lot of food, reliable and consistent. And you're saving some money on top of it. Now, if you don't care about that nonsense, you go Prime line. So you have the Peak and the Ledge. You can get a little bit more of a robust build on these Prime line models. You get Peak in windows on the main cooking chamber and the pellet hopper. 2 internal meat probes this time. Now you have Wi-Fi connectivity. You can download the Green Mountain Grill app. You can make temperature adjustments up and down on the grill. You can set all of these different cooking plans where once it hits a time or a certain temperature, step 2 kicks in, then step 4 kicks in, then step 8 kicks in. You see where I'm going with this. But it's up to you. Only sold through dealers. GreenMountainGrills.com. Find a dealer near you. Visit the dealer. Check out all the cookers that they have. Get the one that's right for you. Learn all about it. Then when you get it home, you're ready to rock and roll. Success right off the bat. GreenMountainGrills.com also has on the website sauces, rubs, other accessories. You can buy pellets there as well. It's great. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. We are back with more Embedded Correspondents and Thanksgiving traditions and non-traditions and stuff along these lines. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we welcome everybody back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. If you're not going to be eating turkey on Thursday, get Smithfield ham. Why not? Smithfield.com. They have mouthwatering flavor, no artificial ingredients. Smithfield fresh pork. Quite simply, some of the finest pork money can buy. It's the trusted choice of world champion pitmasters for use at competitions and at home. And again, Smithfield.com for tips and tricks from folks like Chris Lilly, Darren Worth, Ernest Cervantes, and Childs Cridland. And we join the Embedded Correspondents once more. Thank you for hanging with me through the break there, gents. So, Doug, let's go to you now. Thanksgiving holiday traditions that you will be celebrating on Thursday.
Well, we are in Texas, so we have to watch the Cowboys, of course, be that good or bad. And I make brisket a tradition. So I make sure that in addition to the turkey, I always cook a brisket as well. And probably at night on Thanksgiving and for breakfast the next day, I make carne asada tacos out of smoked brisket that I smoke all night that night. And then I braise it for a couple hours on Friday.
Side dish wise, anything specific?
Well, like Rusty was saying, I'm actually doing mac and cheese, and I'm going to have a mac and cheese kind of off. I'm going to do pulled pork mac and cheese as well as al pastor mac and cheese.
Oh, al pastor. Are you just using any general are you doing like pork butt where you're cutting it up in nice thin slices that way, or what pork are you using for it?
Yeah, for my pulled pork, I actually made 2 pork butts today, one for the hospital and then one for myself. And then my local new meat market, that not the one I tried to pass off as a KCBS steak, but a different meat market, they have al pastor. So, yeah.
All right. John, Thanksgiving holiday traditions that you'll be instituting this coming Thursday.
This is kind of a tough one for me. As you start to get older in life, your family starts to become smaller and things become fragmented. So let me go back and talk historically what our tradition is. Typically in the past, I am the cook of all of the main foods. The only thing I don't handle is desserts. Typically, I do all the cooking off-site, camera everything up, deliver it to a sister's house, and do the service, turkey, the dressing, the mashed potatoes, all of those items. I do the service, and once the service is done, I do the cleanup, pack up the leftovers for everybody, clean that up, and then I go home and go to bed. So that's typically our Thanksgiving tradition, is me giving that gift of that food service to my family and making sure that they have everything that they need, and they have a great time in a hospitality kind of way. And that's always been my wonderful part of doing a Thanksgiving dinner.
Is that a gift from you for that holiday? Like you doing all that? I mean, it seems like they've hired you in to cater. Do you even get to eat?
Typically no, because it's I'm doing service for 14 and family style, of course, and I'm the right guy for the job. What can I tell you? I can do it. I don't get stressed by it. It's I enjoy the rush. I enjoy the feeling. I enjoy the planning. So yeah, I'm the free caterer for the day, and that's been the tradition for years. And I've always been fine with it, and I'm truly gonna miss it this year more than I can explain.
So for me, growing up, it was a much different tradition than it looks like now. And then I think it kind of changed after we graduated from college. My parents moved away to Florida, and then I stayed up here with my, at that point, fiance. Moved into the basement of my in-laws' house at that time before I could save a couple bucks and get an apartment with the job that I had at the time. But so prior to that change, it was Thanksgiving always at our house in Cleveland or in Saratoga. Previous to that, my dad's parents would come in, and then my dad's so my dad was the youngest of three sons, so the next one up in age, my Uncle Tom and his family would come. And it was quite a it's probably at least a week long, if I remember correctly. There were times when my uncle, now this is going back any number of years, my uncle brought his VHS player, because we didn't have one at the time, and rented movies, VHS tape movies, and brought them. We would watch them during the course of the week. There was always some ridiculous sized turkey that was going in. My mom and my Uncle Tom were the ones that were tasked with cooking this thing. And I'm talking, like I mentioned with Stephen Reichlin, I think one year there was a 27-pound turkey in that oven. I have no idea how the hell that oven even accommodated a turkey of that size or how it cooked properly, but nobody died and nobody got sick to my knowledge, so evidently it was cooked safely. And then over the years, you get older, and I had a job, so I had a movie theater job mostly through high school, and Thanksgiving night is a huge movie holiday. Everybody goes to watch a movie after they're done eating. So I would eat and then quickly get out of there, so I missed a lot of whatever was happening at night working through the movie theater job. And then now that I have family of my own and, my in-laws are up here, it looks a little different this year, and we'll talk about that here in the next question. But a lot of it has been now going over to my in-laws. There's a lot of holidays. I don't know if I'm pulling the curtain back too much here or not, but because my mother-in-law's health isn't in decline and she likes to cook, a lot of these major holidays, I don't cook a lot. And I'm not even encouraged to cook a lot, if you can believe it. So she still does a lot of the cooking, and we'll talk about this year, but it's been a lot of over my in-laws, and then the standard stuff, turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing. I believe is it yams or stuffed, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole. There's usually a shrimp to eat as an appetizer before everything's going while you're watching that first round of football games. So big traditional food, same stuff year after year. And there you go. So that's what it looks like for me traditionally. Now, what's it going to look like this year? There was not a lot of traditional Thanksgivings last year for obvious reasons. This year, we're kind of assembling back to some kind of normalcy. So, Doug, what does it look like for you this year? A lot of the same as it had in years past, holding last year aside?
Yeah, this year we're all gathering at my house. Well, I say all. My parents and 3 of my 4 outlaws, brother-in-laws, are coming in town without their kids, and they're alternate because of the divorce stuff. So, but anyway, so it'll be probably 12 of us or so, and we'll be getting together at my house. And I'm most excited that my brother-in-law, that's the electrician, who is going to finish the power on my barbecue pavilion. That is what is important on my agenda this week.
That's right. Most important. Rusty, yes. Are you reassembling into what would be a normal Thanksgiving then this year?
Yeah, well, not traditional, but a normal, as far as everyone else would consider normal. I'm backing off cooking. I'm kind of like John, where I used to cook literally everything, and my entire 3 days was spent prepping and getting ready for it. But this year, I'm just cooking a bunch of turkey breasts for neighbors and ourselves, and I'm going to watch the Buffalo Bills beat the Saints and cry for the rest of the night, because I don't think the Saints are getting past the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills so happen to be my childhood team. So I'm conflicted. It's going to be a hard night, but it's going to be great food, and my whole family's coming over, extended family, all of it. There's going to be like 40 different people down there, so it's going to be a little crazy, but I have my own little room down here where I can watch my football, and be like, the guys when I was a kid that just would scatter and go into another room and watch football. That's good. That's me now. I'm that guy.
John, what's it look like this year for you?
It looks like a hot mess. I'm like, I'm going to take off after work tomorrow. I'm going to drive north to my gal's place. She has a Thanksgiving dinner with her family later Thanksgiving evening. And while she certainly does not need my help, I'll help her get prepped and do her thing. I'll take off from there about midday. I'll drive down and try to catch a couple minutes with my sisters. And I don't know what their Thanksgiving looks like. And then I will make my way back home. I'm going to throw a frozen pizza in the oven and get some Urban Slicer mojo on that thing. That'll be my Thanksgiving dinner, and get reset and get ready to get back into my work day on Friday. So this is a totally Thanksgiving. I don't know what it looks like. It looks like I just would rather stay home and stay in bed, but that's what it looks like.
Well, as I had just said, that mine is typically one where I'm not cooking. In order to live in complete hypocrisy, which is the state I always love to live in, we are hosting Thanksgiving. Now, it does look a little different for us. So my mother-in-law had a terrible case of COVID last year, was in ICU for the better part of 2 weeks, also contracted COVID pneumonia. She has some lingering COVID pneumonia effects in the lungs and all of this stuff. Vaccinated, of course, everybody in this house fully vaccinated, and 3 of the 5 of us have also been additionally boosted. So she wasn't eager to get around a whole bunch of other people. There's other people in the family who are not vaccinated, their choice, whatever. But she wasn't eager to be around people that were not vaccinated. So we said, hey, we all are. We're happy to have you and my father-in-law for Thanksgiving as well. And this was planned out months ago, so that's what we're going to be doing. So I have a 13-pound turkey that is nicely defrosting in the outside freezer, and we're going to do some corn on the cob that we shucked off in the summer and that we saved just for this holiday. They're going to be doing, which is fabulous. We'll be doing the mashed potatoes in the Ninja pressure cooker for the first time, and try that out, and then some other hors d'oeuvres throughout the day on Thursday. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's go. Favorite traditional dish, John. Favorite traditional Thanksgiving dish.
Sorry, excuse me. Turkey. I want the turkey thigh. I want both the thighs. If I get them, they don't make it out to the service. I want a thigh. I want a turkey thigh. That's it.
Rusty, favorite traditional Thanksgiving item.
Pumpkin pie. But actually, what I should say is whipped cream with pumpkin pie, because it's pumpkin pie and the whole plate covered in the whipped cream, just kind of like in the Close Encounters of the Third Kind of thing. That's kind of what my pie looks like.
Are you Cool Whip guy, or is it coming out of the can, or do you make it fresh?
Oh, make it fresh. That's the only way. So much better.
Doug, favorite traditional dish for Thanksgiving?
Because of the great QPR ratio, white trash green bean casserole, because you can do it with the nephews, and you know how much I love kids, but that is one dish that I like to cook with them. And for the taste and effort that you put in, it's fantastic. You can't beat it.
Well, coming out of nowhere for me, traditional dish, stuffing. Sorry, Rusty, but it is as traditional as it gets, and I like it. We will cook it outside of the bird, of course. Sometimes we've done that muffin or whatever Meathead calls it, stuffing, or where he puts it in the muffin tins. We've tried to do that as well. I like it. My wife makes a really good stuffing, and there you go. Favorite non-traditional dish, Doug?
My wife makes her award-winning bread pudding.
Ooh. Bread pudding, my favorite.
With white chocolate. And then she's actually going to put a moose on top of it this year.
Oh, dear. All right. Well, Doug will not be joining us in December because he'll be dead.
I'll be sleeping.
Rusty, favorite non-traditional dish for Thanksgiving?
My uncle used to make elk or venison. I guess it wasn't just always elk, but summer sausage that he would have every year, and it was freaking great.
John, favorite non-traditional item?
Something that I always make was a wild waterfowl, bacon wrapped chestnut filled, chestnut, little piece of duck breast wrapped in bacon, cooked on skewers. It was always a part of our Thanksgiving, and it was typically non-traditional.
This would never be me, but I had them 2 years ago, and for some reason I'm a huge fan because I've had them before and I was not a fan. Believe it or not, I will eat the ass end out of about 2 dozen oysters. Cold. Little splash of hot sauce, suck it down, and I have become a huge fan of oysters, if you can believe it or not. All right, last question here. What should you make if you didn't get a turkey or it's still in the freezer as we speak? John.
It's easy. It's simple. Make a lasagna. Make a nice, simple from scratch lasagna. You have time. Go get a Stouffer's frozen. Get yourself a piece of bread, that frozen garlic bread out of the freezer. You're good to go. If I could change the entire tradition of Thanksgiving, it would be lasagna and garlic bread forever.
Wow. Rusty, what should you be eating if your turkey's still in the freezer or you didn't get one?
If it's still in the freezer, just cook it cold. Cook it frozen. Cook it for 12 hours.
Rusty, you're missing the point of the question. Come on, work with me.
I'm trying to help the people, Greg.
Fuck the people. This is my show.
Wasn't it you that has spaghetti the night before or something like that?
Yes, I'm making spaghetti tomorrow, believe it or not. That's right.
Honestly, I'm kind of with John there, man. Do something cool like that. A big family style, something like spaghetti or lasagna sounds actually really cool because tradition sucks, man. It's about eating and spending time with family. It's not about eating a certain thing. So get that out of your head and make it a big time to celebrate family and make something like, a good spaghetti with some pecorino. It's the best kind of cheese.
Doug, if you didn't get your turkey into the refrigerator or you just don't have turkey, what should you be eating on Thursday?
Brisket or prime rib roast. Go with the meat. Now, we are doing what Rusty's saying. We are getting pizza for tomorrow night, and then we'll probably munch on it for the next couple of days, what we don't eat. So we are going to have that tomorrow night.
If you don't have turkey, my first option was going to be some kind of a rib roast because it's delicious. You can also double up on Christmas if you want, or you can reverse them. You can make sure that you get your turkey and have it defrosted properly in time for Christmas. 'Cause a lot of people will eat turkey on Thursday. They'll also double up again in a month for Christmas time, but I'm more of a prime rib guy on Christmas too. And, of course, pasta is always an option, yes, but we always have that the night before. That was also a tradition of Thanksgiving that we learned growing up in our house. Wednesday was always pasta night, and then Thursday was the big Thanksgiving. Last question here before we call it an evening and we go to John Solberg first. What are you most thankful for this Thanksgiving?
I'm just thankful for the people that are there for me no matter what. That is truly what I'm the most thankful for right now.
Rusty, what are you most thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Life and everything in it, man, because we can sit there and harp on all the bad things, but there's 90% good things all around you. Just take a minute to look at it and you'll realize how awesome your life really is.
Doug, what are you most thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Being the eldest, well, maybe John maybe has this on, but my health. I mean, I've just had some friends that have had some bad health issues that I just recently found out about. So be thankful, man. Every day you wake up and you feel good, be thankful.
I am most thankful for the 3 guys that you see right there on your screen, my embedded correspondents from a barbecue perspective. Outside of the barbecue realm, I am most thankful for my immediate family, my wife Becky, and my daughters Bobby, Maddie, and Marley, and everything else outside of that can suck. Got the crew, we're down, and we are ready to rock and roll, so that's what I'm most thankful for this Thanksgiving. Guys, always appreciate the time this evening. I hope everybody stays safe, through the course of the week. Has a great Thursday, of course. And then we will see you back in December as we break down Christmas time. And, of course, we will be looking at best moments of 2021, and we'll also potentially be looking at making predictions into 2022. So we might have a full 2-hour embedded correspondent in that show. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, so we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much. And away we go. All right, we got one more read to go, and then we will get you headed in the right direction for Thursday. Let me talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue. A curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies will get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at Big Papa Smokers has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From award-winning rubs and sauces to American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has everything you need to be a better outdoor cook. Known for the championship rubs and seasonings, popular flavors like Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, all proven winners on the competition circuit and in the backyard. 13 perfectly balanced flavors that will transform ordinary meals into extraordinary, whether you're a cook cooking to impress judges or friends. Big Papa Smokers has something for everybody and will not disappoint. Also, the owner of Granny's Barbecue Sauce. So if you're tired of what's out there currently or you're looking for something new to change the game up, Granny's Barbecue Sauce is something you want to take a look at. Aside from the premium selection of rubs and sauces, they have cookers, and you know this. Are you looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use? Check out that Mac 2-star General Pellet Cooker. Having a revamp recently, Big Papa Smokers, the exclusive Mac dealer, and even offering special packages. Not a fan of pellet smokers? Take a look at the Old Hickory Ace BP, the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. If you're not sure of what grill you need, call them. They have a phone number. They have people, experts that will answer your calls. 877-828-0727 or shop their website at bigpapasmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA smokers.com. We're back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
And this portion being brought to you by Vortic Watch Company, a small batch custom watch manufacturing and vintage restoration company located in northern Colorado. They take antique American pocket watches and turn them into wristwatches, just like this one. Their mission, preserve and enhance the legacy of excellence in America. In order to do that, they combine traditional and cutting-edge technology to create unique, quality, functional timepieces with exceptional value. And here's the best part. Each watch that Vortic makes is unique and one of a kind. Vortic founded on the motto that America wasn't assembled, it was built. Check out VorticWatches.com. By the way, if you were interested in the military watches that I've been talking about the last 2 weeks, as of 3 p.m. Eastern today, there are only 2 left. 2. 1, 2. And there might not even be 2 left at this point. So if you were interested, you were on the fence, make sure you get over to VorticWatches.com, go under the military portion that's listed. Check out that watch. It's so awesome. You're going to have a piece of history on your wrist for the rest of your life. And there might be 2 left. You have to wait until next Veterans Day for the next round of military watches to be released. So if you're really looking at that, get after it now before they're all gone. Remember, they started out with 50, and 46 or 47 of them were gone within the first 12 hours. So there you go. All right, let's close it up. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com. Don't forget, you can pre-order this book right now, The Complete Guide to Smoking Meat, 100 Smoking Good Recipes for Barbecue and More from Derrick Riches and Sabrina Baksh. You can get it over on Amazon.com. You can also get it over at DerrickRiches.com. Pre-order. Then we talked with fast food expert Bill Oakley at that Bill Oakley on Instagram. Oh, you might also know him as being like the showrunner for The Simpsons for any number of years with Emmy Awards and all that stuff. But forget about that. He's a fast food expert. Second hour, Embedded Correspondents talking about all things Thanksgiving towards the end, but we open it up with the 100% Assurity Picks. And we thank Lance Owens realtor to the stars over there in the paradise of Hawaii on the island of Kona. By the way, he did write in through the chat saying that he was just kidding about horse meat. We know. We're just having a little fun, Lance. I got a CYA sometimes. But we all know everybody's kidding here, right? Of course. Nobody's looking the other way in Hawaii about eating horse meat. They're looking that way, not the other way. A big show planned for you next week, as always. Leanne Whippen making her triumphant debut into the show once more after a number of years off. Also, end of December, we're going to be inviting Mr. Jonathan from the Cigar Authority. He will be on as well. Big show. How Do I Always Leave You? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and Proud US American telling you, have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you next Tuesday. Good night now.
This is Dino Dan from Cypress, California, and you're watching the Barbecue Central Show.